Okay guys, welcome back. We are going to continue with rational numbers. This time this video cast will be a very quick review about adding and subtracting fractions. I know that's the rational numbers that you guys love the most. Yeah, I'm kidding. Okay, so moving on. Adding fractions with common denominators. Example, we have 3/8 plus 4/8. Let's go ahead and model 3/8. Remember that the denominator tell you how we cut the pizzas, but since we are using bars, let's go ahead and say this is a Hershey bar. So it's cut into 8s. Okay, so here we have 8 spaces, and we take 3 out of those 8. Plus, and then we have another Hershey bar, and we are going to go ahead and eat and take 4 8s. Notice that they are cut the same way. They are the same size. Remember that with fractions, everything have to be equal. Okay? So now that they're both equal, so there's really nothing more we need to do. We can just go ahead and add them. I take the 3/8, put it together with the 4/8, and how much do we have now? Now we have 7/8. Okay, so really adding with the same denominator is very easy. There's really nothing complicated since they're already cut the same way. Now, when it comes with different denominators, this is where usually students have problems. So please pay very close attention. Now, you can add fractions with different denominators without getting them ready first. They will be ready to add when they have common denominators. What does this mean? This means if they do not have the same denominators, that means they're cut differently. So we need to make sure they're cut into the same sizes before we can put them together. Alright, so how do we actually do that in math? Are we actually going to be cutting things? No. So what we are really doing is finding their common multiple. Alright, now to find the lowest common multiple of two numbers is the lowest number in both lists of multiples. Remember, multiples means the result that we get when we multiply two numbers. So let's take a look at half plus 1/3. Now we need to find common denominators, common multiples for 2 and 3. So first thing we start doing is say 2 times 1 is 2. We really start counting in 2s. 2 times 1, 2. 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 3, 6. And so on and so forth. And we do the exact same thing with 3. 3, 6, 9, 12. Really, we're just multiplying. Going down the times tables. 3 times 3. 3 times 1 we get 3. 3 times 2. 3 times 3. 3 times 4. And so on and so forth. Until we find something they have in common. And in this case, it's 6. Okay, there it is. Now, another thing I want you guys to notice is that both 2 and 3 are prime numbers. 2 and 3 are prime numbers. So, whenever you have two prime numbers, really, all you have to do is just multiply them. So 2 times 3, we know it's going to be 6 because those two are prime numbers. Okay, so let's go ahead and model this. This is why I love this PowerPoint, because it actually shows you the model. So here we have half plus 1/3. Here's half right here, 1 out of 2. And here's 1 out of 3. Notice that these bars are not equal. So we need to be able to cut this Hershey bar and this Hershey bar into equal sizes before we are able to cut them, to add them together. So here, we already know that the lowest common multiple is 6. So turn the fractions in 6. So basically, we are going to cut this so I can get 6 spaces, and I'm going to cut this so I can have 6 spaces. Now they are all equal. Do you guys see this? Now they are cut the same way. Now I'm able to add. So in reality, what we did was turn the 2, we only had halves, So we turn it to 6 by multiplying it by 3. Okay? I know this way can be a little confusing. So basically this is what we did. So we had half plus 1/3. So we take this half right here and we turn it into 6. How do I turn 2 to 6? I have to multiply by 3. So whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do it to the top. So we also multiply by 3. Because that's why we see here we have 1, 2, 3. This is 3 out of 6. Now, so this is right here. So we will put it down over here. 3, 6 plus, how did we turn 1/3 into 6? We had to multiply by 2. If you notice, we only took one bar, we cut it in half. So we multiplied by 2. So here we get 2 out of 6. And we put it here. Now we are ready to add them. And when we add them, we get 5, 6. When we put them together. Okay, so here it is. We get 5, 6. So please remember, we are turning the denominator into the same, cutting them the exact same way. So by doing that, we are changing the fraction. This is the exact same thing as half. If you notice, the exact same yellow is highlighted. But now we don't just have just 1 out of 2. We have 3 out of 6. Okay, so here we need, here's another example. Some people like to, this one is dealing with subtraction, but it's the same method for adding. Some people like to put it in this way because you are used to adding and subtracting vertically. So there's nothing wrong with that. So here we have half minus 3/10. So once again, these two are not the same denominator. That means they are different sizes. They're not cut the same way. So we need to find their LCM, their least common multiple, so that we can cut them the same way. Okay? So here, 10 and 2. We can go down the list of the multiples for 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and of course 10. Now, one thing you can say is, usually you look at the smallest denominator. So you look at the 2, the smallest value. 2, can I turn 2 into 10? Yes. How will you turn 2 into 10? By multiplying it by 5. So, if you multiply by 5 by, sorry about that. So if you multiply by 5 to turn 2 into 10 at the bottom, you also have to do the same thing to the top. Some people always forget to do that. Remember, if we're cutting it, it's the whole bar we are cutting. So this now will represent 5/10. So now let me put this over here. So now that we have 5/10 minus 3/10, now we can go ahead and subtract them because now everything is cut equally. So now we can go ahead and subtract. And then we subtract normally. Remember, we only add and subtract the numerators, never ever the denominators. So here, 5 minus 3 is 2. So we end up with 2/10. And this 2/10 can be reduced, divided by 2, to 1/5. So once again, please remember that if the denominator is not the same, you must cut them the same way by finding their least common denominator. Okay? Alright, let's move on now. I hope you guys are ready for some practice. Alright, try these and then come back and I'll show you guys the answers. Alright, here are the answers. A will be 17 over 27. B will be 13/12. Okay, let's go ahead and do B together. So here we have 1/4 plus 5/6. I want to show you. Okay, so 4 and 6, we know they're not cut the same way, so we must find their LCM. Their least common multiple. So we have 4 and 6. And then we can say 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 6 times 1 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. Times 2, 12. Times 3, 12. So here it is. We stop. I like to do them together so that I don't keep going on one and then when the answer was right there. But some of you probably can find it in your head, which is great. So I know the LCM is 12. So how do I go from 4 to 12? I have to multiply by 3. How do I go from 6 to 12? I have to multiply by 2. Once again, we must do the same thing to the whatever we do to the denominator, we must change the top as well. Otherwise, it would no longer be equal. Okay, so this 1/4 is really 3 12s plus 10 12. So now we are ready to add them, and we get 13 12s. And that 13 12s, hopefully you guys remember how to change it to a mixed number. We do 13 divided by 12 one time, 12 remainder 1, and we read it 1 and 1 12s. Okay, that's another way we can write it, but it's no biggie. Alright, let's get the end, continue getting the answers. Okay, 13 12s. C will be 19 over 20. D, 10 over 9, or 1 and 1/9. E will be 41 over 28. And F will be 26 over 21, or 1 and 5 over 21. Okay, so here are the answers. So hopefully if you have any questions on how we solve any of these as you're practicing them, please post your questions on Edmodo. Okay, so here for adding mixed numbers. Adding mixed numbers is not as complicated as we think. So here we split 2 and 5. And then we split half. Okay, and then we just add them together. Now we know 2 and 3, those are prime numbers. We can just multiply and apply them to get the LCM. The LCD in this case will be 6. And we get 7 plus 5 6. How did we get 5 6? Times 3 times 3 times 2 times 2, which turn into 3 over 6 plus 2 over 6. And then we add them and we get 5 6. And we put them together. All together we get 7 and 5 6. Alright guys, that's it. Hopefully this was a little refresher from 5th grade and 6th grade. So please ask any questions if you are still struggling with this on Edmodo, so I can help you along the way, and make sure you have your questions ready in class. So this is it. Have a good one. Bye.